There are two types of vertical farming. In the first, vertical gardens are placed on the exterior walls of a structure. In this type, the vertical garden could be as small as a single-family dwelling or as large as an industrial-sized building. In the other type of vertical farming, enormous farms are built in skyscrapers. An 18-story tower could feed about 50,000 people annually.
The top food production of vertical systems cycles nutrients to feed the lower systems. This keeps the system sustainable and efficient. Only a small amount of valuable surface is covered for a large production of food, resulting in more yield per acre of ground. This creates an efficient and sustainable way to grow large amounts of food in small areas. With the food near the city or even in every city, vertical farming will create a reduction in transportation and energy costs. The structures can be built anywhere within the city or on the outskirts of the city. These structures are architecturally able to be built in the poor soil conditions in the area and not cause an issue dealing with a system that has organic composted growing materials for the soil and nutrient source.
Currently, China ranks number 1 as the world's most populous country. In 2014, China's population was at about 1.35 billion people. China makes up 20% of the world's current population. The rapid population growth rate of China seems to have somewhat declined because of the one-child policy that became effective in 1979. Though there is a slight decrease in the population rate, by 2050 China's population is expected to rise by about 25 million. Around 80% of the Chinese population live in rural areas where poverty is most common. Many of those who live in poverty live in the central and western parts of the country. Approximately 902 million of the Chinese population live off of less than $5 a day. That's about 68% of China's population. Nearly 157 million people, or 12% of the population, live off of less than $1.25 a day. Many of the people who live in poverty receive their income from agricultural-related tasks.
As global climate change has a larger and larger impact on the unpredictability of weather, water usage will become an increasingly discussed topic. Vertical systems use 10% of the water needed in traditional agriculture. This mostly comes from the reduction in transpiration due to the controlled growing environments. Growth in clean mediums allows for a reduction in washing and processing. Modern vertical systems now are able to convert black and gray water to drinking water. This allows for the most efficient use of all water in the system. In these modern vertical growing systems, the space has strict control of environmental conditions. This leads to even and predictable growing seasons, which increases production confidence. Also, this control essentially develops a system that has no seasonal crops and can be grown to any climatic region. Food can be produced whenever and wherever it is necessary. In addition, the pest, weeds, and disease pressure is highly reduced, and cropping cycles are quicker since crops are always grown at their optimal environment. In many systems, fowl, pig, and fish have been included.
Energy production is a large producer of greenhouse gases. China produces more CO2 emissions than the United States and Canada combined. Vertical farming is keyed on reducing that amount. The building is built with solid glass that helps trap the heat and solar energy to further increase plant production. Vertical farming uses the most up-to-date technology with the use of LED lights. New lighting is the best for reduction in energy costs to produce a high-quality crop. The lights are highly efficient and use up to 75% less energy compared to fluorescent lights commonly used. Some of the most productive land in China is being converted into urban populations. Agricultural land is diminishing at a rate of 30,000 hectares per year due to the amount of industrial and commercial growth. The land once used to feed the nation's people is now being used to manufacture goods. An innovative vertical farming system will be able to produce much more food per hectare when compared to the natural and conventional forms of farming. Vertical farming is bringing a new spin to urban farming. A large production facility will generate year-round food production while provide more food on a limited amount of space.
Vertical farming maximizes the farming area upwards rather than expanding outwards and taking up more space. With that said, homes of animals and other creatures benefit from this space saver.
Waste from plants combined with animal waste can be composted as fertilizer and used as fuel within the infrastructure housing the vertical farm. Also, green in cities helps filter toxins out of the smoggy air. Lastly, no heavy equipment such as tractors or combines will be needed to plant and harvest crops.
By 2050, the world's population will increase from about 7 to 9.6 billion people. It is estimated that an additional chunk of arable land the size of Brazil will be necessary in order to grow enough food. 80% of the world's population will dwell in an urban setting. Although vertical farms will never completely eliminate traditional rural farming, it will reduce the strain on the land and allow some land to return to forest. For every indoor acre vertically farmed, 10 to 20 outdoor acres of farmland could potentially return to their natural ecological state.